Ben Goessling, at Ben Goessling via X. There's a Vikings-related podcast called Access Vikings that you can access if you're so inclined. We also have a newsletter. And first question for Ben is, with minicamp in the rearview mirror, how relaxed are you right now, and good morning?
I'm getting there. Good morning. The slower part of the year is coming. The rest of the week is a little nervous because big event on Saturday up in Duluth, Minnesota. Grandma's Marathon on Saturday. So
you don't run in that every year, do you?
I don't run the full every year. This will be the third time.
You're running the full?
I'm running the full. So this will be the third time in 4 years I've run the full. I guess I've done the full or the half every year since 22. Did not do the full last year, but I've been training with my buddy Jared Nelson, and we are trying to get him under the 3-hour barrier and see if we can punch a Boston ticket again for each of us. It's easier for me because I'm older, but that is the hope on Saturday as we go up and have a day. It's the weather looks okay so far, so keeping our fingers crossed and see if the lake is going to be kind to all of the runners heading from Two Harbors to Duluth on Saturday.
Two things here. First and foremost, you know the name Lonnie, the full-time package handler for UPS, marathon runner. If he's listening, my phone's about to blow up with motivational and inspirational marathon-related stories.
I think he had Boston advice for me in 24.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's going to send me one or two to motivate you for Grandma's man and your friend.
Yep.
Secondly, when one is working the beat as vigorously as you do and coaching Apple Valley High School distance running immortality the way you have, how does one train for a marathon?
I actually wrote a story about this in 24 when I was training for Boston while covering Vikings free agency. That was the year that Cousins was leaving, and I think Hawkinson had surgery. I definitely remember pausing in the middle of a 15-mile run in January to go deal with some Hawkinson stuff and then finish the run after that. So sometimes I run with the phone with me. I've had to do that a couple times. There have been track practices where texting, like voice texting, is the fact that that's a thing is helpful because voice texting helps. I've made some phone calls while in the middle of a run.
Wow.
Dictated a story, I think, on an Adam Thielen contract. This had to be like 7 or 8 years ago. In the middle of a run where I've kind of had to do that, just the voice dictation thing on your phone and send it in. Maybe it was even longer ago than that. I don't remember quite when that was. But yeah, some of that stuff you get pretty good at figuring out how to make it all happen at the same time. And having a treadmill in the house during free agency is helpful because then the phone is there. And if something happens, you can just step off and deal with it, and can do that, have done that, probably will do that again in my life. So yeah, it's a lot, but I like being busy and I like multitasking and I love all the things that I get to do from running, coaching, covering the Vikings. So you try to find ways to make it all work.
When you're training for a marathon, how many times before the race itself will you actually run the 26.2?
0. I mean, some people do different on this. I don't know of too many people that will go to the full 26.2. I think the most I've done in a long run before a marathon is 23. It's been a lot of 20s, a lot of 22s. I've done a couple 20s this year. I don't think covering the mileage completely the before the race is that important. It's still going to be hard that day because you're also trying to run at marathon pace. So a lot of it for me has been trying to get more work in at marathon pace and having longer stretches of that. So that's been more the focus, I think, than just the sheer mileage.
Well, and clearly I'm not a runner. It strikes me a bit because I've heard this before. Generally, people won't run. Because you're breaking down your body. You're going at max at that stage. So you don't want to do that a ton before you actually do it in the race.
No.
But if you hit that mile marker 20, and now you just quit, you shut her down. Like, how do you know that you have it in you for the final 6? So kind of wrapping my brain around that is just, it's fascinating to me.
You sort of know that when you go into it, that last 10K, the last 6.2, no matter what you've done, is going to be tough. I mean, you kind of just go in with the mental expectation that a lot of people will talk about you run the first 20 with your head and you run the last 10K with your heart. And there is something to that where it's like, this is going to hurt. I'm going to be in a lot of pain. Everything's going to be sore. My body's going to be saying, hey, let's slow down. Let's stop. I mean, there's all of those things going off in the back of your head. So that's really where the people along those roads in Duluth, because that course is pretty quiet in stretches of it. But then once you get into Duluth for those last couple of miles, that crowd really brings you a lot of energy. I run for Mill City Running, and they have a big scream tunnel at mile 24, and it is so loud.
That's cool.
And they have this in Boston and a couple places too, where the crowd on the back of Heartbreak Hill is like the Boston college students who have been out. It's a holiday in Massachusetts, so they've been out, enjoying the holiday all day. So by the time you get to them at mile 21, 22, they're pretty. The pre-gaming has taken effect, and they're pretty loud. So that kind of a thing, and then when you get that with the Mill City folks at mile 24, it gives you that little bit of adrenaline boost to get through it. But yeah, you kind of know that it's like the fourth quarter of a game. It's going to be tough, and the mental work you've done. The training is physical, yes, but it's also mental to say, hey, I have confidence that I can do this, and I've been here before, and I know I can get through it.
What do you do if at mile 17 there aren't many people watching?
Yeah.
And you notice some rube running alongside you yelling, "What about the Queens? Who's going to be the starting quarterback against Green Bay?"
I'll yell something back.
Are you? Well, yeah, but that takes energy.
Well, it's just a word or two is fine.
Okay.
If you're running marathon pace, you should be able to be somewhat, not conversational, but you should be able to say a word or two.
A word or two of breath, of ruach, is something that you're going to need in the final mile. Think about it. How about them Queens? You like Kyler?
I will find out at training camp. See ya. I mean, that's easy. I mean,
oh, wow.
That's, you have that stuff, and I'm sure that'll get that at some point.
Well, that'll get aggregated on social media. You get killed. Ben Goessling had no time for me.
That is always possible. But, so it's either, we'll see. They've both looked okay, and we'll see at training camp.
Do they have a 5K up there?
They do. It's Friday night.
So with training for a marathon, running clearly is key.
Yep.
Eating the right way over X amount of weeks or months, clearly that matters, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, like in other sports, say football or whatever, other pro sports, where you hear people say like, okay, well, this changed and got better with me because this off season I focused dedicatedly on boxing.
Right.
Well, so like outside of getting the legs right and eating right and things like that, is there something ancillary that you can do to get over the hump?
Yeah. As you get older, I think strength training becomes more important, and distance runners are not known for making anybody stop and turn their heads in a gym. So it looks a little different than that, but figuring out how to have your calves be responsive and be able to take that much force, because every time you take a step, you're basically, it's effectively a single leg squat, like 1.5 times your body weight every time you take a step when you're running. So you're doing that thousands and thousands of times during a race. So getting your calves at a point where they can withstand the load, hamstrings, hips are important. I mean, doing a lot of core work is important to keep your posture in place for 26 miles. Yeah,
you cover the team.
You throw it in. It's fantastic. It takes 15 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. The strength stuff is not that big of a deal.
Okay. Well, you also, excuse me. I apologize for even suggesting this because I would imagine there are days you're like, I don't want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've been out at TCOPC and I got stiff armed by this individual and it was hot. And then I coached AVHS distance team and this and this and this. I don't feel like doing it. Yeah. So you're telling me that you, in disciplined fashion, push through that malaise and or fat and happy nature or negativity every single time?
Most of the time. I wouldn't say every single time. Most of the time.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yes, it is. There is always that battle. And the thing I've learned, too, is I get up and get it done. Because if you wait into the day, it's like, okay, I've been outside, I'm tired. This started going on, and my day has kind of gotten sent in a different direction. It gets harder to do it. So the wake up and get it done at 6:30 in the morning thing for me has become more beneficial, because usually nobody's bothering you at 6:30 in the morning. There's the occasional, I suppose the occasional breaking news at that early portion of the day. But some of it is, if you can get it done, that's a lot of it. But yes, I've learned that it's fueling, it's hydration, it's strength stuff, it's core work, it's working on balance. I mean, all of that stuff that starts to go as you get older, you have to put more time into maintaining it because it does become use it or lose it.
Take a look at your phone and the most recent text I just sent you.
Yes, I saw on my watch.
I told you it was going to happen.
2-hour marathon, right?
I told Percy. The full-time package handler.
Oh, yeah.
Dear friend of mine, Lonnie Anderson, is a marathon aficionado. And on cue sends me something to give to you.
Yes.
What was it exactly?
It was a podcast explaining the sub 2-hour marathon. That threshold just got broken in official competition for the first time at the London Marathon last month.
Okay.
2 guys went under 2 hours in competition for the first time.
By choice?
Yes.
Jeez.
It had happened once before that in kind of a time trial thing. Eliud Kipchoge had done it, I think, back in 2017, I want to say. But that he had pacers, he had a car kind of mapping out the most efficient route, all of that kind of stuff. This was in competition for the first time, and 2 guys did it. So,
yeah, man, good luck.
I think the podcast was about that. I'm not trying to go that fast. I'll probably be in the high 2-hour range. It'd probably be, the goal would be somewhere in the 250s. Broken 3 hours a couple of times, but breaking 2 is a
Will you ever walk?
Thing. Through a water break, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So like you have a water break, and it's all against the clock, right?
Yes.
Water break, so then you're going to walk for a quarter mile.
Yeah, it won't be that long, but yeah.
Walk for an eighth of a mile, a furlong.
Yep.
And then you pick it up and take off. That's how it works?
Pretty much, yeah. Because you're a lot of it is that they've learned about in the 2-hour marathon has been a big part of this, like the refueling process. It is a lot, and that's the thing you have to learn is all of the fueling for this stuff. It's hydration, it's electrolytes. That was my big lesson from Boston is I got massive cramps in my calf because it was really hot. And Zach Zenner, who used to play for the Lions, was
the running back
that was going to go to med school. So he decided not to go to med school when he got done playing because he ended up as like a 5-year career as a UDFA. And then he had 3 young kids by the time he was done playing. So he and his wife were talking like, I'm not going to med school. I got 3 kids. This is going to take forever. So he's become an agent and then has kind of a side thing where he's doing sports performance and health kind of stuff. And he told me at the combine, like, hey, I've got this thing to measure the sodium content of your sweat. So you know how much sodium and potassium, those are the kind of the big electrolytes you need to put back. You can learn how much you need to put back because he would have football players do this, or he'd have this happen where you lose 3 or 4 pounds in a training camp practice and you're super tired, and then figuring out what do I need to put back in my body because everybody has a different metric on this. So I was like, yeah, this is interesting, but I haven't had any problems with this. So Boston comes, it's hot, I cramp up. The last 10 miles, my calf felt like it was going to seize up. So
you pushed through it.
I pushed through it just because I wanted to finish the race, but it was not a great day. And so then I texted Zach and said, hey, I might actually take you up on that sweat test thing. So I found out a lot about that in terms of how I need to put electrolytes in my body. And then the big thing that you've seen people do with the sub 2 thing is the carbs. Those guys were taking in like 110 grams of carbs an hour, which
during
is
insane.
The race? Yes, during the race.
Somebody's eating a loaf of bread during the race?
Pretty much, yeah, probably.
Damn.
Every hour. So the process of learning how to do that and getting your gut trained to do that, I won't go that heavy with it, but I will go more carbs than I've ever done. And it's been weird a few times on these runs where my wife is like, hey, you need to eat something. It's like, I know, but I'm kind of full from all of this carb
Wife and
training.
Kids come up in support?
Yeah, they will. Yeah,
Sweet.
They'll come up this weekend and have some friends up there too.
What would you do? So is this in essence a prep race for the stakes race that is the Boston Marathon?
I mean, you have to qualify for the Boston Marathon, so in a sense,
wow,
yes.
You're trying to qualify again for the Boston Marathon?
I mean,
damn, man, what's gotten into you?
I don't know that I will run it if I qualify. If my buddy Jared and I both qualify, then absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I qualified in 24. I didn't run it in 25. So I've qualified twice. I've run it once. I would like to go back out there and have a good one at some point, but it would close circuit to Nolan Teasley, Kevin O'Connell. If y'all can have an off season, just one, where there's no quarterback drama that could blow up my phone at any time, it would make life a little easier. And they're like, yeah, we don't care. We'd love to do that too because we'd love to have our quarterback situation solved.
Well, maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
Okay, so what do you do if at mile 14 this Saturday, you're running and you're casting your gaze like 50 yards ahead of you. Is that Kevin O'Connell? So what if Kevin O'Connell plants himself at mile 14 and then says,
I got a scoop for you.
If you stop now, I will tell you exactly who the starting quarterback is and why. Would you stop?
How long of a stop is this?
You're
it's
done.
Kevin O'Connell, so I'm done.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get it done in that 8th mile walk.
You're done. Race is over. But you're the only one to get it.
Yeah.
And you got your phone because you clearly stated you're comfortable running with your phone and voice dictating at miles 6, 18, and 22.
Yep.
What would you do?
So the condition would be you have to stop and pull out of the race?
Done.
Yeah.
Boston Marathon, dead.
Like huge, massive trade.
But the coach is going to tell you, here's exactly who the starting quarterback will be against Green Bay.
This is Sophie's choice. Holy
and
cow.
why.
Right.
So you get 5 minutes of the why.
Right.
It's like the Sneaky Friday background in the offseason.
I probably would stop and get the scoop and get out of the race and just go run another one
on adrenaline
some other time.
Think about how fired up you'd be with what you've just gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, you would push through things that were greater than trying to cover the Josh Freeman game at MetLife Stadium on Monday Night Football.
Talk about a
yes,
hitting
you
the
can.
Wall. Yeah. There would be a way to do it.
Well, 9 to Noon's very proud of you.
Thank you.
And that's an arduous it's an arduous task.
Yeah, it is.
One that's not too big for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the football team post minicamp when we return to KFAN.
This is
the last thing you need is a higher bill at the gas station. That's why Postman Law is giving away $50 gas cards through Sunday, the 21st. Postman delivers for you, even at the pump. Enter free at postmanlaw.com.
So off the mini-series 9 to Noon crafted yesterday and is landing the plane on it today. It's called When and How, or How and When.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, so the Knicks and the Carolina Hurricanes win the finals and the final.
Yep.
So it's like Wolves Wild, when, how, when.
Yeah.
Then offering up the metaphorical therapeutic Davenport of love via the talkbacks today. Just went down the low-hanging fruit route of just reminding some people of what's, happened over the last, really back to David Ortiz in 2002.
Yeah.
This is, you're a lifer here. So, I
was at game 1 of that ALCS.
Wow.
I believe.
And how old are you?
43.
Okay, so 91 World Series.
Yep. I was 8.
Right. But, you were.
Yep.
So here we are. Karl Anthony Towns leaves the Covenant in 2024, houses a title in 2026. Darnold, 25 gone, 26 Lombardi. Kevin Love leaves in 14, wins in 16 with the Cavs. Garnett leaves in 7, wins in 08 with the Celtics. David Ortiz leaves in 2002, wins with the Red Sox starting in 2004.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin, your second year on the beat.
Yep.
Your first year on the beat, reports were that he was throwing weights at either coaches or Christian Ponder in the locker room.
Yes.
Can't have that, so he's gone.
Right.
All right. He's like, cool, I'll return a kick for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and we're going to win it in 2014. I told Percy. Andrew Wiggins leaves in 2020, wins the crown with the Golden State Warriors in 2022.
God, Andrew Wiggins, what a title.
So it's a when and how, a little 2-day mini series by 9 to Noon. And just, I think, when I was writing this or crafting it out, I was thinking, so what's low hanging fruit here to make us feel better about ourselves? All right. Well, there's Cleveland, but they got championships with LeBron and stuff like that. So then I went, this is utterly amazing. I went down the road of the 2 pro sports teams they have in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So the Bills 0-4 in the Super Bowl. Yep. Sabres never got anything done. The 2 in the core 2 there, they've gone 122 years with L after L after L after L. And like they had a basketball team that had a really good player named Bob McAdoo.
Yes.
The Buffalo Braves that
traded
they
to the Lakers.
Absolutely loved. Traded him to the Lakers.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they were selling out. They were doing really well. I think Lou Saban was their coach or maybe Jack Ramsey, and they're digging it. And all of a sudden, Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Tamika, and Antoine wake up one day. What happened? They moved to San Diego.
Yeah.
So it's like, even when they think they're going to get something. So
the Clippers.
Right. It's not, we're not trying to establish power rankings for inadequacy.
Yeah.
But it is different, yet worse to a certain extent than another. But we got 4 of them.
Yeah.
And 35 years without even having gone to one. I mean, the Vikings are coming up on a half century.
It will be a half century this year.
Half century this year.
Yes.
Not getting to a Super Bowl. So, we laid out some low-hanging fruit type things that it might be prisoner of the moment related stuff with like what Seattle just did.
Yeah.
But hey, Seattle, well-respected coaching staff, got the right quarterback, has drafted well. The management situation, the personnel situation, so respected and good that like second or third in charge now runs personnel here. And brought Kirchner with him.
Correct.
So the trenches, the offensive, just there's so many things. But like for this team here, I'm not going to pin you on a when, but how. Because I can't speak for you. The coach and many coaches with the staff know what goes into winning Super Bowls.
Correct.
Flores has a handful of rings. So they know what either others did or they contributed to get there. So I ain't tripping on the coaching staff situation here. Then you get to the quarterback and the other type stuff. Like for this team here, doesn't have to be this year scintillating at SoFi. It could be winning is the word in the home of the Dirty Bird and in Atlanta in a couple of years or whatever. How?
Well, I mean, the quarterback is the obvious. Let me talk about low-hanging fruit. That's the obvious answer to that question, but it's got to start there. I think you have to have a quarterback that elevates those around him and plays at a level in January that can be a difference maker. I think, if it's Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy or if it's somebody else down the road, I mean, that has to be job one. And it does have to happen relatively soon. I mean, Justin Jefferson I think his birthday is actually today.
Hey!
Happy birthday, Justin Jefferson. I believe 27 today. So I say that to say that his prime is not another decade. I mean, it's it may last probably 5 or 6 more years yet, but it's not something where you're just beginning it. He's right in the middle of it. So finding the quarterback that connects with him and is able to
coach and quarterback,
unlock him. Yes, all of that has to happen, I think, relatively soon. You have a lot of the pieces otherwise that you need. I mean, they probably need another corner in the next year or two, another edge rusher, I would think is going to become a need. You have to figure out what does it look like with Brian O'Neill. You can get into all that stuff. Tight end, center, what's the running back room going to look like long term? All of that is kind of window dressing, I guess. Having a quarterback that can make the difference in January I think that's got to be the answer. You haven't had that in such a long time. I mean, Favre's probably the last guy that did it in that type of fashion. I mean, certainly the run in 2017, Keenum played well, and a lot of that was that defense being complementary or not even complementary, but being an equal partner in that endeavor.
It had an expiration date.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and defenses do because it's 11 people, not just one. But quarterbacks make it. I mean, we see this all the time, whether it's Mahomes or Josh Allen or I think Jalen Hurts to a degree is getting to that level where you have a chance every year. You may not win it every year, but you're at least going to be in the dance. And one of those years, everything goes right and you can get over the top. I think having that type of quarterback is the easiest way to get there. And, is that player on the roster? Will McCarthy turn into that? Will Murray become that here? We'll have to see. But I think that's the big step in that direction.
Andrew Healy and Trent Kirchner are new assistant general managers for Nolan Teasley.
Yeah.
Healy has a PhD in economics from MIT, taught economics at Loyola Marymount. I wonder how that helps this group and moving forward. And what do you know about Trent Kirchner?
Yeah, Kirchner is I believe, Fulda, Minnesota native.
Right.
Hometown. Patrick Royce actually just wrote about him a couple months ago because that's where Pat is from. So he played, I believe, at St. John's. So there is some of the local side of this, and this is a homecoming for him. But he's a guy that was incredibly well respected in their personnel department as well. I mean, you have... Man, it's a lot of the MIAC there. I guess St. Thomas for John Schneider and St. John's for Trent Kirchner that were running things in Seattle for a long time. But you add another guy in Kirchner that is well respected as an evaluator, as a scout, to go with Teasley, and then Healy comes in. It tells you that analytics is still going to be a big part of this because he came from that same kind of cradle, so to speak, as Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. He came from the Andrew Berry front office with the Browns. So, I mean, Teasley talked about the front office being, guided by evaluation and anchored by data. Like, they are still going to have the scouts and the data folks talking to each other and trying to find a complementary way to evaluating what is this player's ceiling and what is he worth, and then how do the coaches use him. So I think a lot of that is something they're hoping probably is a little smoother than it's been over the last few years in terms of how the scouts and the analytics folks talk to each other. And then I think as you bring these guys in, you have people in those chairs that have Nolan Teasley's respect and a relationship with him, certainly in the case of Trent Kirchner. So I think a lot of this structure tells you that what he was saying is very much how he plans for this to go.
This is in no way eschewing data and analytics and that bent with the NFL.
Yeah.
However, I'm still waiting for the first person after winning a conference championship or winning a Super Bowl to be interviewed and say, the data, the analytics that we got on this situation at this part of the game from this hash mark and this part of the field with this defense we were facing, that's the big reason we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I know as a mixer, I know that there's room for it.
Yeah.
I just, maybe I don't ask enough questions about it. I can't speak for you. I just don't know enough of what goes into analytics in the NFL. It became ballyhooed and took off with Major League Baseball,
right?
With pitchers and right-handed and left-handed batters and infield and outfield shifts and things like that.
Pitch counts
per tendencies in a sport where they play 6 or 7 games a week and they got 162 of them.
And everything's a one-on-one matchup.
Thank you.
Everything's isolated plays and movements.
Even a steal is a one-on-one from guy on first base, pitcher's tendencies, then Benito Santiago trying to gun down the guy at second.
Right.
One-on-one there, too.
Yes.
So it's less of a team game than football or hockey. And, I just don't, it's age-old, and I can't see it ever changing.
Yeah.
Are these guys, when you're getting ready for a game, is the adversary, are they on some trends or some tells here that they're not seeing?
Yeah.
Let's attack them. Who are the worst players they have on defense and offense?
Yeah.
Let's attack them.
Right.
I see Dre Greenlaw hadn't played for a month and a half, and they're going to start him at linebacker. All right, well, let's make him run.
Yes.
And just see how well he runs. Mm-hmm. Hey, he can run. He knocked that. That's a nice pass breakup. Okay, we'll go to the other side.
Right.
That's age old.
Yes.
That's none of that's analytics.
Correct. Yes. I think.
I'm trying to figure out how it fits in.
Yeah. I think you may find times where, I have to go back through the last couple of Super Bowls or playoff runs. Was there a play where it was, hey, we saw that this tendency allowed us to run this concept in this situation, and we knew it was going to work.
So tendency would be analytics.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, it wasn't analytics in the 90s.
Right,
it was tendencies.
Right, but it depends on what you're using to get there, I suppose. Where if you are crunching data to say this revealed this trend or tendency to us. That could be part of it. But in terms of how it fits the overall, in terms of player evaluation, I think that's still very much to be determined. I don't know that there's a great answer to this yet where you would say, hey, this has been a major factor in how this team built its front office, because, I mean, a lot of teams, including the Seahawks with Nolan Teasley, have built analytics models in terms of player evaluation. But I think the challenge with football is there is so much noise, I guess, and I use noise in a statistics sense, noise versus signal. There is 11 players on each side. There are different situations. There are different contexts of down and distance and personnel groupings. And there's so much to sort through that it's hard to get it down to batter versus pitcher, something where it's this identifiable variables and quantifiable and identifiable. Yes, everything in baseball has a data point. Everything in football, it can be, well, it might have, or it might have been that this guy was supposed to be here and he blew his assignment, or you had a blitz that they didn't pick up, and it wasn't that this guy missed his assignment necessarily. It was that the guy next to him missed it and he was trying to cover. I mean, there's all sorts of those variables that are impossible to trace beyond a shadow of a doubt. So you are, I think, always going to be hedging a little bit where it's, well, we think this could be what it is, but we're not able to say with 100% certainty that this is what caused something to happen, just because you're not going to have another team's playbook either. You're not going to have, here's exactly what their call was. So I think with football, the idea of evaluating player success and evaluating efficiency is always going to be a little more challenging than it is with some sports. And just like you mentioned, there's 162 games in baseball. Basketball, this has become a big thing. There's 82 games in basketball. There's hundreds of possessions over the course of a game that you can evaluate. There's just a large enough data set that you get a little more of a reliable set of trends to analyze than football will give you. So that is, it's not to say that there can't be a place for it, but I think that is the challenge in football that's different from a lot of other sports.
The learned scribe. Well, okay, on this to close. Like Dominique Orange. Dominique Orange.
Yeah.
Beloved Big Citrus.
Yeah.
Would you look at this as an opinion formulated via watching and or steam or analytics? And here's the point. Like, say that there were some maybe in off the record or there were little, shots here or there that Dominic Orange, let's say some people felt he took plays off during games. Okay, wow, holy cow, takes plays off. I mean, that's big. I got to watch this. I got to call somebody about this. And then you learn he was playing as many, if not more, snaps than any defensive tackle in all of college football, and big people get tired. So, there may have been plays that went to a certain side, and okay, he wasn't, he didn't run it out completely because he was tired, catching his breath, and then he killed somebody the next play. So, does that fall into the analytics category, or is that, all right, I saw the same thing, so I'm gonna call Ben, who would know, and he's gonna be honest with me. He ain't gonna lie to me to set up the Jacksonville Jaguars, for whom he worked, so that they can get Big Citrus. See, all of that is work ethic. All of that is having quality work ethic to try to win at the highest level. I don't see any analytics in it.
Well, I think that particular example, if you were to say we had all of the numbers to show that he played more snaps than anybody else in college football, and this is how it affected him. I mean, if you look at GPS data of saying here was his first step and here's how it got slower or something over the course of a game, I think
like player tracker.
I think there are two different ways to getting to a conclusion. One of them is saying, let's see what the numbers tell us. And the other one is, let me call somebody who's got a memory bank of institutional knowledge and impressions that they've formed from years of scouting or years of coaching, whatever it happens to be. They're different databases that you're mining for information, but
if you could only have one, which would you take? I'm making the call.
I would still take the scout.
8.5 out of 10 times.
I think that's still where I would go, because I think that has more of a track record than being able to say analytics has demonstrably proved this in football. I mean, and I'm open to being shown that there's a deeper understanding in analytics than I am appreciating. I would be very interested to have that conversation with people, but
nobody talks about it.
No,
I don't know if nobody's
it's asked. A lot of proprietary stuff.
You never hear anything from any team about this super special next level NFL next gen stats bit that we have showed A, B, C, and D, and that's how we won. You just never hear that.
The thing is, everybody's got their own models. Everybody's built their own quantitative analysis stuff. You don't hear a lot of teams talk about them because a lot of them are proprietary, and a lot of people think they have an edge that nobody else has.
Right.
So that's part of the reason people don't discuss it a lot. And I suppose data scientists are not necessarily the most forward-facing people all the time. As I say this as the son of a computer programmer, a software engineer who's
he disciplined you with his head turned to you.
Well, yeah, he
spoke in ones and zeros.
Well, yeah, he's a little more social than a lot of them, but I'm not sure he would call himself the most gregarious person in a room.
You weren't a child; you were a Pythagorean theorem.
Well, he has a dry sense of humor as well, so that
we're playing with you, Dad.
Yes,
your family's the bomb.
He taught me a lot of math and a lot of things about just different phases of life.
Taught you a lot of math. You became a writer.
Yes, yes,
makes a lot of sense.
I became a writer with an accounting degree.
Yeah,
so I still use the math in there a little.
Yeah, for the newspaper where there's a word count.
Yep.
And if we were to talk to associate editors, maybe your math upbringing wasn't as good as it should have been. We need 1,000 words. Ben just gave us 1,350. Who are we going to cut?
So good here. Yes.
Can't cut Sue Dog. He'll yell.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not that I ignore it. It's just that I didn't do the math right.
Hey, you tear it up this weekend.
Thank you.
Safe and smart. Yes. Stay healthy. Stay hydrated. And we'll see you somewhere down the road. Take a little time off for a while, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you, bud.
All right, thanks.
Ben Goessling at Ben Goessling via X. And he covers the Minnesota Vikings for the Star Tribune. News du Nord is next.
You're listening live to
News du Nord, and it's a truncated edition. Excited to catch up with former De La Salle stud Jalen Travis, now at the Indianapolis Colts. There's a big summit coming up in a couple weeks. He's going to join PA next segment. But News du Nord, as it is, it's brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park and CanterburyPark.com. It's blackjack table games all year round, feeling the felt. And then when you have some sips of chips and you tip Derek Allen, you just roll on to the other side, maybe check out the paddock, see the ponies. And, of course, family days. Big day coming up this weekend, though, right, PA? It's going to be Father's Day. And Sunday's family days at Canterbury Park are the best anyway. I mean, you got little rides. You might get to pet a goat or something like that. And face painting for the kids, cool stuff like that in addition to the races. But Father's Day is always a party at Canterbury.
Yeah, this Sunday we begin at 1 o'clock. It's Father's Day. And we are giving Lazy Boy recliners away after each race.
You get to try them in the winner's circle.
That'd be awesome. So CanterburyPark.com for information.
It's a light news day, but we'll start with the Minnesota Twins, as it was Josh Bell hitting a 3-run home run. That was the deciding factor in a 4-2 Minnesota Twins win. Still trying to figure out what they're doing with the 5th starting pitcher on the roster, so it was kind of a little bullpen vibe with Paredes into Rogers and Morris and Orze and Gomez, oh my. But the Minnesota Twins, after taking 2 from the St. Louis Cardinals over the weekend, got things started on the right foot with the Texas Rangers. Go Minnesota Twins, 7:05 p.m. This evening. Now, I did, when we had the talk back, and the gentleman was talking about Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of forgotten, we never really talked about this. But he had, of course, been ruled ineligible by the NCAA, this Texas Tech quarterback, because he placed not more than 9,000 bets,
Right.
and totaling at least $90,000 on pro and college sports over the years while enrolled at Indiana, Cincy, and even most recently Texas Tech. And the keynote here is at least 40 of those wagers. Small amount, but not an insignificant amount. When he was a freshman with the Hoosiers, betting on his own freaking team, ruled ineligible, got an injunction, temporary injunction by a judge in Texas earlier this month, like a week or two ago, I guess, that cleared the way for him to play. So he was actually going to get his eligibility back, 9,000 bets and all of that known. But now he wants to enter the supplemental draft. Now he's deciding, forget that. I want to go to the NFL. Now, the supplemental draft, I don't even know if that's a yearly thing, and I don't know if anybody's taken on a yearly basis with the supplemental draft. I don't pay very much attention to it at all. But what an interesting little saga that's taking place with Texas Tech, Brendan Sorsby, and yet again, the open accessibility of betting apps and gambling, and people not really being able to help themselves.
He could apply for the NFL draft, the supplemental draft, or crawl his way to a National Football League facility, and for the rest of his life. Sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah, indeed. Minnesota Lynx, Olivia Miles and company continue to just absolutely thrash people. Digging that. Let me find it here. Yesterday's game.
Portland beat Bridget Carleton.
107-74, just thrashing the Fire. And indeed, Bridget Carleton, former teammate, we had the game on the Fan last night. Against her former team, do you think there was a little bit of vibes going into Target Center where she went 1 of 9 on the night and finished with 3 points?
Yeah, Portland ain't very good. It's an expansion team. That's why Bridget's no longer here. Cheryl took it to him last night, whether pissed off that they took Bridget or just a really, really good squad here with a Rookie of the Year. Cheryl took it to him last night and kept the pedal to the metal.
That's News to Nord, brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com for all live racing, event, feeling the felt related details. And next segment, excited to meet Jalen Travis.
An offensive lineman for the Indianapolis Colts who has a leadership summit in Minneapolis, June 26. A new friend graces the airwaves next. His name is Jalen Travis on KFAN.
This is